I call these inspiration shots. That's when you tape together the components. Gives you motivation to keep building. Let's take a closer look at some of my build, what it looks like, things I've done to get this kind of result. Here's that plywood doubler, 16th ply doubler. Nice match sanded fit. Looking at the inside, that filed fit, how it matches up, and I'm going to have support on a nose block back in here also, where those 1/8 by 1/8 frame pieces are. Everything nice and flush and level. The plywood doubler will give it the wear characteristics. It'll hold up as far as wear. Put a nose block on and the prop spinning and whatnot. Something I did not mention in the video on sanding radiuses. This is not a full radius from this corner to this corner. If you put too much radius on here, you will weaken your stringers. So that is fairly small radius on that corner. I had it drawn with a full radius in that sketch. It's not a full radius. It's enough to where it has a nice feel. Looking right down the wing, you can see how straight the leading edges are. That's kind of a big deal to me. Just looks nice. By not sanding all the ribs stacked together, looking right down these spars, there's no faking it with this angle here. Any mismatch on those notches and those spars would look wavy down through there. This is the wing, which I built before I moved from out east in 2005, but same techniques. See, the 3D printed notches are off. And here's the radius sanding I was doing back then, same technique. Here's a place where I think it makes a difference in the finished model, how this radius transitions to the trailing edge. Here is a look at the under cambered ribs on the wing. Fair amount of under camber. It's part of the reason for having that many spars. Gives it attach points on the for the covering. I talk quite a bit about cutting the balsa wood long and then sanding it to fit. With some covering, you'll see the woodwork through the covering, and you also see them fits. The other thing I failed to mention is if your fits aren't tight like this, when the glue dries, glue tends to shrink a little bit. So better fits make for straighter finished structures. They don't warp as much from the glue shrinkage. So they look nicer, they're stronger, and less warpage. Everywhere that you flex or bend balsa, like these spars are flexed down to the tapered tip. You've seen me do the wetting out process. to relax it. Working our way to the back of the plane, like all the cuts and fits on this part of it that supports the back of the motor stick or rear peg, aluminum tube in this case. All those fits. The plywood cut out for the ply, all those fits being nice clean fits make for a good looking job and for strength. Here's a look at the Rudder Construction. It's just a lovely complex balsa construction. Got all my final sanding done on the radius around there. Here you can see the airfoil and quite a bit of bend to those spars on this side. It's quite the radius down through there. And then look right down it. I wetted them spars. Just come off being in line, looking down through the rudder, nice and straight. Here's a look at the leading edge of the stabilizer, nice and straight. It's a flat bottom airfoil, so a nice flat surface. There's the finished sanding on the radius, the stabilizer. Spent quite a bit of time on the fit on the rudder to the stabilizer, that airfoil. So that was cut away from the line a little bit on this piece of the rudder. Left it wild, left it long, and I sanded that so that it would fit to the airfoil of the stabilizer. You can see how it fits in the back here. You can see the fit where this entire structure is going to tip up. Here's a separation line where when the dethermalizer trips up, it's not glued, but nice fits there. I also spent a fair amount of time on the fit to the fuselage, top and bottom. Looks nice. This will be glued to the fuselage, the sub rudder. So those will be nice strong glue joints. Notches in the ribs sanded to the print. Nice straight spars on the stabilizer. Same with the rudder. You look right down them spars. Nice straight spars running down through there. So there's my inspiration shot, along with a little bit of discussion about the building techniques I've been sharing and what it'll leave you with. Model that looks nice. Everything should be nice and straight, should perform nice. And when you put the covering on it, it's just like painting something. Everything that's underneath will show through in the covering.